Hey there, boys and girls of the YouTube world. Today, Duff Dog and I are going to give you a tour of my 1971 Ford Ranger F100 XLT. So here's the story how I got this thing. I had a 68 Ford short box fleet side that I hot rodded up. Had the Crown Vic front end, 4.6 overdrive, ran on the 85, had the Crown Vic rear end in it. I didn't do the whole frame swap, I just did the front end swap. FYI, you can read all you want on the internet. I did it. They're too wide, they don't get them low enough. I had to Z the frame. It drove great, but you couldn't turn the wheels full lock, and I had the stock Crown Vic wheels. It was cheap. That was the only thing, and it drove pretty good, but I don't think I'd do it again. So quit telling me to do Crown Vic stuff. I did it, experienced it. It's not all it's cracked up to be. So that's my opinion, and just my opinion. Anyway, that pickup was schmucked up pretty good on the driver's side, so I was looking for a driver's side door. I put a feeler out. My local scrap guy said, hey, I know this Ford pickup sitting in the trees. Guy wanted a little bit more than scrap money for it, so I didn't buy it. So I went and picked it up. I was the third and now the fifth owner of this pickup. That's right, I sold it because it was too nice to steal the door off of, and then I bought it back again. So the way this thing started life originally was a two-wheel drive, long box, 390 automatic. As you can see, it's now four-wheel drive. So snooping through Craigslist, back in the Craigslist days, I found a 78.9 four-wheel drive chassis with a 400M and a C6, and it was all supposed to be good. That's another story. Anyway, I brought that home, not knowing what I was going to do with it. I'd sold this like a year or two earlier, and I knew the guy was never going to do anything with it, so I called him up and he said, sure enough, I still got it, haven't done anything with it. I'll sell it back to you for what you sold it to me for. So I went and picked it up. Like I said, I bought it from the second owner, and then from the fourth owner didn't do anything with it. Me being the third owner, I didn't do anything with it other than I got the 390 fired up. So this is a Ranger XLT, which is the highest trim package. So you get all the trim around the fenders and the bottom of the doors, and then you get the wood grain right in there. Some of it's still there. And you also get these fancy, that should be red, white, and blue. There's a little white left, no red, little blue. And what I did to set it on the 79 chassis was I had to shorten it. Some guys will tell you you don't have to shorten it, but I didn't want that gap in between the box, so I think I took like 2 or 3 inches out, 2 inches, something like that. It's on the interwebs. You can see where I cut the frame right there, and then I boxed it on the inside so it's good and strong. I did not even have to shorten the drive shaft. I guess I put new exhaust on it. I poured 15 most of the frame. This was a couple years ago. It's starting to kind of come off, and I didn't do a very good job of painting the bottom. It needed a new yoke on the pinion. Ford makes 19 different ones, and of course this was the most expensive one. It was like $100 yoke, but can't do much without it. And the rear end's pretty much shot in this pickup, but that's for another day. It's got a 205 transfer case. So for you, those of you that aren't familiar, Ford came with two, I believe, a 203 and a 205. 203 is full-time four-wheel drive. 205 is gear to gear. 203 is chain, which can wear out. Gears don't really wear. And this has got the 205, so it's not full-time four-wheel drive. It was an oil leaking pig. I've put so many seals in it. I think I'm down to just the transmission pan seals, the only thing leaking. Finally, after 2 years of fighting leaks. Not much else to see under here. So it's got 31 by 1050 15 Cooper Discover AT3s. Really good tire. I like them a lot. Sorry about the wind. No complaints there. On stock 15-inch wheels. I took the stock 71 hubcaps. Took a hole saw to them because I like the steely look, and they're cheap. You can see my rattle can paint's kind of coming off. It does have lockouts. They're the factory Ford lockouts. I got them set to freedom right now because sometimes you got to lock them up when you want to get wild. As far as mounting it on the frame, everything from the front bumper to the back of the cab is all the same. Just dropped right on. Even the 71 bumper with the bumperettes bolted right onto the 79 frame. As you can see, I don't have any bed bolts in these middle two holes. The frame's got wider in the 78s and 9s, unless it's a high boy. Like, well, in 73, the frames got wider, unless it was a high boy. High boys are 3/4 tons with a divorce transfer case. This is obviously a 1/2 ton with your regular transfer case. Duff, are you fighting any birds over there? Let me know how that goes. So I guess what I need to do here is I just need to take a piece of angle iron and go from frame rail to frame rail, or box iron, whatever, and bolt it in the stock holes on the frame, and then drill 2 new holes, because I think the frame lines up like right here, and I don't want it on top of these ribs. And if I were ever to find a factory 4-wheel drive frame, then I could just bolt it on. The holes in the back actually lined right up, and I think it's flat up front, so I drilled new holes. So that's how I mounted the body to that chassis, and now I shortened it up. Like I said, I didn't have to change the drive shaft on the back for length. There's still plenty of room on the yoke. Let's take a look under the hood. So this is a Ford modified. They made them in a 351 and a 400. The air cleaner says 400. I don't know what it is, because you really can't tell on these stupid Fords. The one that was in it when I got it didn't make enough power to get out of its own way. I tried carburetors, and I tried adapters to put GM carburetors on it, and I tried HEIs, and I tried points ignition, and finally I just determined it was worn out. So I bought a 79 Bronco that's got a Jasper rebuilt engine in it. Like I said, I think it's a 400 because it's pretty peppy. And everything seems to work pretty good once I figured out the leaks. I have had to put new alternator on it, new power steering pump, new hoses, just fixing leaks, new fuel pump, new accelerator pump, just stuff that dries up. New master cylinder. It's got a lot of new stuff that was leaking. Still got an exhaust leak that I need to address. It's not too bad though. Rear main seal leak, front seal and transmission, just every stinking seal in this thing. These Fords got the distributor up front, real easy to work on, but all the water runs right down in there, and you got an aluminum distributor and a cast iron block, and they expand and contract at different rates. They get corrosion in there. So you can see where I had to beat the ever-living snot out of this thing to adjust my timing, so real miss on Ford's behalf there. It does have the DuraSpark. I got everything out of the 78.9 in there. I grafted it into the 71 harness. 71 had, well, Fords in general just have that external voltage regulator. So I was having some charging issues, and so that's all been replaced. Check out my video on putting a heater core in this thing. Wasn't too bad, because this is not a factory AC rig. The factory AC rigs do kind of suck. Battery hold down, it's there, hasn't fallen out yet. Had to put a new battery cable on it today. That's about it under the hood. It's a factory power steering, power brake setup. I just slid the new master cylinder, like a 78.9 master cylinder, onto the 71 booster. Got the factory jack in there. I rounded one of those up. New radiator hoses, new belts, a lot of new parts. I'm into this thing kind of deep. It's supposed to be a budget build. Not so much for budget anymore. Here's one other thing. So the steering on the 67 to 72 is a rear steer. Steering on the 73 to 79 is a front steer. So I wanted to keep all the stock wiring of the 71, so I wanted the stock column in there. So I had to put a knuckle on the end of the 71 column, and then I just used a chunk of double D shaft and slid it into the stock 78.9 slider shaft. And then I got a new rag joint in there, hooked up to my new steering box. Just a ton of new parts. Just sucks. And they're all expensive, because Ford stuff. So that's pretty much it under the hood. Yeah, the steering is kind of a pain to integrate, and then I had to do a little bit of wiring to wire up the distributor for the Ford DuraSpark ignition, Puddin's favorite, and then for the alternator. But the taillights, all that stuff's all stock stuff. Windshield's got a little crack in it. Overall, this thing is super good for rust. It had plywood in the back when I got it, and so like there's no dents in the floor of the box, but it held all this dirt, and so the dirt kind of ran out right up here, and so it's kind of rotten down there. This cab corner's got a couple of holes in it. There's a little bit of rot back here, and then for some reason the tailgate had some rot, but other than that, super good. There's a couple of dents in the wheel wells and a little bit of rust, like I said, where all the dirt sat, but I mean, most of the paint is still in the bed of this thing. And even like the tailgating all hooeyed up on the back. So here's the other strange thing with this pickup. Like 98% of the Fords had a fuel filler right there, tank behind the seat, and I've had 2 of them now where they had the auxiliary tank in the back. I thought, perfect. I don't like the tanks behind the seat. Nobody really does. I mean, they work fine. I ran it, but I'm not going to cut a hole there to put one behind the seat. And that tank hits the transfer case on this because that pickup was 2-wheel drive. So I need to make a custom tank, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So for right now, I got a 14-gallon fuel cell in here. This thing is real thirsty, so there's usually a can of gas on the back of it that I've had to use several times. The guy who bought it new, his initials were WLW, so that's kind of neat. Left that on there. It does have the stainless mirrors, it's got the stainless around the windshield, stainless around the back window, cargo light. She's pretty well loaded up other than like a 460 4-wheel drive and air conditioning. See, it's got the fancy door panels, the vinyl, padded armrest, wood grain, inlay. It's got a cargo light. It works. Gun rack. I mean, that's mandatory in the Midwest. Carpet, padded dash. Dash is a little cracked up. The white headliner and visors is kind of weird, but I like it. Get yourself a cool rest. You guys go on eBay, drive the prices of these up even higher. They're like 75 to 150 bucks. They're awesome. You got a spot for your sandwiches right there. I mean, don't drink and drive, but you know, for having your Dr. Pepper or your coffee and whatnot. And then you can keep your registration and your TP and your ice scraper and your Mortske decals in there. Hit me up with an email if you need a Mortske decal. I'm not giving them out, but we'll set something up. Let me know if you guys want stickers. I got the blue car and the yellow pickup. I'm thinking about making one with Duff Dog on it because all you guys really like him. He likes you. Say hi to the people on YouTube. Yeah, say hi. Good dog. But send me an email, descriptions down below. We'll figure something out. I'm thinking like, I don't know, 10 bucks shipped for a pack of stickers. See what we got. Got the little yellow pickup, big yellow pickup, and the big blue car. Got a couple of shirts left too. Otherwise, click on the Teespring link down below. You can get the yellow pickup. As you can see, Duff really likes it. Factory bench seat. She's got a couple of tears in it, but works for hauling that dum-dum around. It's got 86,000 original on it. I don't know. One thing nice about Fords is you can just reach in and hit the key. You don't have to reach around the column like a Chevy does. I do have a fuel gauge hooked up to the fuel cell in the back, so I can keep an eye on that. And then I put a custom auto sound stereo system in it, just because the stereo was missing in this thing. I don't know if I'm sold on this thing. I got their hidden speakers underneath the bench seat. They're nice, they're expensive, but for what I do with this thing, I really probably don't need a stereo. Not a stereo guy. If you live in the Midwest, get one of these Snow Joe brass tipped scrapers. They're good. This one's a little bit wide. I like the narrower ones, but brass tip blades on your snow scraper. Tech tip of the day. And that's pretty much it on the old orange 71 Ford. So I've had a lot of requests to walk around this thing, and I figured this would be a quick, easy video to do middle of the week. Kind of trying to do Mortske Mondays, plus, you know, maybe a video on Thursday or Friday. See what happens. Give you guys something to peek on at the end of the week. So let me know what else you guys want to see. Do you want to see me show you how to remove a power steering pulley? How to set points? No, don't ask me that because I don't know how to do that. You want to see some of my other cars? You know, do you want to see tech tips? Do you want to see some of the tools that I use? Just let me know. Just looking for suggestions, a little short, you know, 5, 10, 15 minute videos, maybe a little bit longer, something that's quick, easy for Chin to edit and for me to throw together for you guys, and then gives you guys something to watch during the week, because I know most of you guys watch my stuff on Monday and then twiddle your thumbs all week and nothing to do instead of just working on your stuff like I'm doing the rest of the week. Just kidding, I know you guys are banging it out. So there you have it. That is my 1971 Ford. Well, actually it's Duff's, because he's always in it. I'm probably a Chevy guy. You guys might have noticed that, but I like them all. I used to be a 67 to 72 Chevy guy, die hard, and then I got that 68 Ford short bed, And I kind of fell in love with these things, and this pickup is probably one that I'm going to hang on to for a while, because not only am I really deep into it, but it just works so dang good. And I'm probably not going to find a cleaner one up here. You know, if I go down south, I'll maybe find something, but up here it is what it is. And I guess the reason that I lifted it instead of lowering it is because he's got twin I-beams, and you can go with a Dream Beam suspension and stuff, but they're expensive, and you know me, I'm freaking cheap. And they don't get them as low as I want. And that was part of the Crown Vic deal. I had to Z the frame 3 inches to get the Crown Vic where I wanted, because otherwise you just drop one of these pickups on a Crown Vic frame and they sit like a ½ inch lower than stock. They're obnoxiously high. So I thought I'll try something different. I'm not a 4-wheel drive guy either, but figured I'd give it a shot. Everybody kind of bashes the 351 400Ms, but I'm pretty impressed with this thing. It gets terrible mileage, but it's got pretty good snort, and it's been really reliable. It hasn't left me on the side of the road yet. Knock on wood. So I guess that's about it. That's my 71 Ford. Let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see. I don't really have a name for this thing yet. Pumpkin patch, orange crush. I don't know. What would you guys call this thing? The Ferd F10000. Check out my other videos on this pickup. I got the heater core video and I got the trim video. See, the trim's still hanging on there. And you know I didn't go in there and put all those clips in there. It's only held on by 3. That was like 9 months ago. It's fine. It's fine. All right, appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Remember, doesn't matter how you get it done, as long as you're having fun. Walk-arounds are fun. You're fogging up the window, Duff. Are we going for a ride or what? Let's go inside. Let's get something done. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's get to work. Get to